warns against the increasing activities of al-Qaeda in Syria and calls upon outsiders to desist from dictating their proposals on the Syrians. Qualitative operations by our armed forces destroy terrorist hideouts and equipment. The terrorist Mohammed Juma al-Mansour admits killing people and plundering houses in Aleppo on the basis of suspicious fatwas. Good afternoon, welcome to our news bulletin. I'm Danya Nizam. The Russian Foreign Ministry asserted that there was no alternative to a peaceful solution in Syria. Moscow would continue its efforts with both the government and the opposition in order to overcome the crisis politically. Moscow expressed concern over the increase of the activities of al-Qaeda and other ideologically extremist groups. This would exasperate the situation. The Russian Deputy Foreign Minister Gennady Gatilov expressed his deep concern over the escalation when he met the Syrian Deputy Foreign Minister, Dr. Faisal al-Muqdad. The escalation was increasing the number of civilian victims, the deterioration of the humanitarian situation, and the destruction of Syria's infrastructure and historical legacy. The Russian Foreign Ministry said that the main issue at present is to stop violence immediately and to start negotiations on the basis of the Geneva Communique. The Deputy Foreign Minister of Russia, Mikhail Bogdanov, asserted that the settlement of the crisis in Syria would be only political on the basis of the Geneva Communique. In an interview with Russia Today TV channel, he said Russia held deep and precise consultations with the Opposition Coordination Committee. They agreed that the basis of the settlement should be the Geneva Communique, which was approved by the 5 permanent members of the UN Security Council. He pointed out that negotiations and dialogue should be held between representatives of the government and the opposition groups. In Homs, terrorists detonated a car bomb near Omar ibn al-Khattab Mosque. 15 citizens were killed and 24 others injured, some of them critically, as a result of a terrorist explosion. Within the context of the national task of restoring security and stability to Aleppo and its countryside, units of our armed forces carried out qualitative operations against the hideouts of the so-called Victory Front, which belongs to the terrorist organization al-Qaeda. A number of leading terrorists were killed and their vehicles and military equipment were destroyed. Groups of terrorists were attacked in various villages in al-Misalmiye area. In Aleppo, units of our armed forces attacked terrorist hideouts and inflicted heavy casualties on the armed terrorist groups. The terrorists were carrying out savage crimes along the Aleppo-Damascus highway. Citizen Ahmed Mohammed Louis was murdered when terrorists stormed his house in Al-Marji quarter because he took part in popular protests calling for kicking out the terrorists. A unit of our armed forces killed several al-Qaeda terrorists and confiscated their weapons, which included RPGs and machine guns, in the village of Saqqa in the Damascus countryside. The dead terrorists included Usama al-Kirsh, Amir al-Ajrab, Ala al-Biqai, Mohammed Bashir Hamadi and Ala Qalab. An amount of money in hard currency was also confiscated from the terrorists. In the area of Barzi in Damascus, terrorists detonated a car bomb which was loaded with a large quantity of explosives in the square of Al-Khazzam in Ash al-Warwar neighborhood, killing 3 people, including 2 children, and wounding 35 others. A source in Tishrin hospital said that there are 8 children among the injured, while many wounded have critical wounds. The terrorist blast occurred in a crowded residential area, inflicting heavy material damage, destroying the nearby buildings and many parked cars. After the reality was revealed about the involvement of al-Hariri and his aide Uqab Saqr in the bloodshed of the Syrians by smuggling weapons into the armed terrorist groups, they sent their mercenaries from Tripoli, but the Syrian Arab army was waiting for them on the borders.
Killed or injured, that was the end of the mercenaries of Al-Qaeda, who were confronted by the Syrian Arab army soldiers who swore to clean the country of the terrorists and their tools. 21 terrorists from Takfiri groups in Lebanon tried to infiltrate from Wadi Khalid into Syria, but they were caught in an ambush that was arranged by the valiant Syrian Arab soldiers in coordination with the residents of the two villages of Tel Sarin and Beit Qrain in Tel Kalakh.
In cooperation with the residents in Tel Kalakh, we were informed that the terrorists will try to infiltrate from Lebanon into Tel Kalakh, west of the Khlayt village, towards the highway. So we set up an ambush, killing all the members of the terrorist group. We are farmers cultivating the olives. While we were working, we saw the traces of the footsteps as many people passed on the land. So we informed the authorities about this. We heard that a terrorist group is heading from the Lebanese Khlayt village towards the Tel Kalakh area in the Syrian lands through the farming lands, and the Syrian Arab army confronted them.
Killers having a Takfiri kind of thinking came from Tripoli, which al-Hariri and his allies tried to change into a quagmire of guilt, extremism and terrorism after he made himself servant to the old sheikhs, but he was discovered to be a collaborator in the killing of the Syrian people, directly or by providing the terrorists with money and weapons through Uqab Saqr. Under different criminal pretexts, Al-Qaeda and other terrorist groups get involved in the dirty crimes that happen in Syria, which are prepared by regional and Arab actors, but they are to be conquered by the steadfastness of the Syrians and the Syrian Arab army.
The terrorist Mohammed Jamal al-Mansour admitted that he took part with the terrorist group in killing many citizens, attacking public utilities, killing their employees and plundering houses in Al-Bab area in the Aleppo countryside, depending on a suspicious fatwa of some sheikhs. He said that he joined a terrorist group that was financed and supplied with weapons by Dr. Mahmoud al-Sai, who is a member of the Muslim Brotherhood. The terrorists attacked an airport with 3 vehicles. They also attacked the security forces and the police station in the town of Al-Bab in collusion with 75 other terrorists. Al-Mansour added that some sheikhs told them that it was all right to plunder houses. However, the terrorists did not bother to know the identity of the owners of the houses which they attacked. They also erected roadblocks and plundered the money of car drivers. He said he was tempted with money and given 10,000 Syrian pounds for every terrorist operation. The money was later reduced. Large numbers of terrorists from Chechnya took part in the terrorist crimes. He admitted that he had killed 13 people with his own hands. In Qatar, the verdict of life imprisonment against the poet Muhammad ibn Zayd al-Ajami was widely denounced in the streets. The lawyer Najib al-Nuaimi, who defended the poet, condemned this unjust verdict. He asserted that he would appeal against it. He said his client had been suffering in detention for more than a year. Amnesty International also condemned this verdict and described it as a flagrant aggression against the freedom of expression. On the other hand, hundreds of workers demonstrated in El Doha calling for their rights and freedom and for improving their conditions at work. Within the context of the plan of the Council of Higher Education to encourage scientific research, the Minister of Higher Education, Dr. Mohammed Yahya, honored a number of scholars for their distinguished work. This was part of the encouragement of scholars to develop their work and its practical applications. And with this, we conclude our news bulletin. It's over to Vani with our economic news. For more information, you can visit our website on syriaonline.sy. God bless you, and God bless our beloved Syria.